His reviews will get you further than the film will ever go. If you give him just a moment of your time, he'll let you know which movies rock, which movies stink, which movies shouldn't have been released. Say hello to Confused Matthew.
I don't think there is a subject on Earth that I know less about than war. Maybe politics. Maybe. But the depths of my ignorance regarding the subject of war is truly mind-boggling. With regard to the Civil War, I'm pretty sure the South lost, and that's about all I know. Second to my ignorance regarding war is my ignorance regarding war movies. I almost never watch these films because, quite frankly, I have no interest in the subject. So you have to understand that I am at quite a disadvantage with regard to this movie. I'm not really sure what a good war movie is supposed to be, nor do I know if they got anything right or wrong in this one. The one thing I can judge are the elements that make up the film, from the dialogue to the characters and so on. And boy howdy, does this have a lot of both. Judging this film solely on its story, I would probably have marked it down under uninteresting and bland, but let me start with the aspect of the film that made me truly dislike it. The dialogue in this film is torturous. It almost hurts to listen to it. There are a lot of period pieces out there that utilize old-fashioned dialogue, but Gods and Generals, for one reason or another, just can't make it work. Every single line is spoken as if the person speaking already knew what they were going to say and were just waiting for their time to do so. Like they were rehearsing the night before and are now straining to deliver the best take possible. I've never heard such pompous, overwritten garbage in all my life. This isn't just with regard to the dramatic scenes either. Every single line, in every single context, is said as if the character has a personal speechwriter following them around. I'll give you one example. One scene in the film has a mother talking to her family in her living room. Just talking to her family in her living room. And this is what she says. "We must not fear the final result of this war, but many a loved one will fall, and many a heart throb with anguish, before we can breathe the exhilarating atmosphere of freedom and feel the sweet assurance of safety and peace once more." I can imagine someone writing a loved one a letter saying those things, and I can imagine a writer giving this to someone to say in a play. Who the fuck talks like this in real life? I understand this is a period piece. I understand that the way of speaking was less casual back then than it is today. But I seriously doubt the manner in which we communicated sounded like an address to a committee every time we spoke. Why can't somebody in this movie have a fucking conversation with another human being? Why does it all have to be speeches? I know it seems like a small problem, but when you're enduring this onslaught of verbal diarrhea for 3 fucking hours, it simply becomes erosion. Now as for the story, I have to be quite honest with you about this. I saw this movie less than a day ago, and at the moment, I can remember very little about what happened. Something about bayonets, a lot of people get shot, but my focus on the movie drifted so many times that I simply could not retain the plot. This wasn't for a lack of trying either. I really did give it my best shot. But with something this tedious, you can only focus so much. After the first hour or so, I just couldn't take it anymore. My eyes glazed over, and I succumbed to the vacuum sucking at my mind. The characters started to bleed together like colors on a canvas, the story settled into repetition, and eventually my mind was so intent on finding something to hold its attention that the following thought honestly popped into my head. Hey, remember that girl that played the creepy robot daughter on that show Small Wonder? I wonder whatever happened to her. Honestly, if this is the way Civil War movies are made, I think I'd be more content simply reading about it in a history book, or maybe watching something about it on the History Channel. I don't know, maybe the subject just doesn't translate well to film for me, but for one reason or another, this film ran through me like water on its way to becoming urine. This is the first time I have ever felt like a movie defeated me. I fought to watch the movie and lost. I don't know if war movies just aren't my thing, or if my experience was in fact the general consensus of moviegoers, but one thing is for sure. I did not like this film. I almost feel like apologizing for this review, as I didn't actually review much of the movie, but sometimes all I can do to tell you how I feel about a film is to describe my experience watching it. And in this case, my experience was so negative that I couldn't even review the thing. Gods and Generals is long. Long-winded, long-acted, and long-run. The only positive thing I can say about it is that I haven't felt this hungover in years, and this time it is without even a single sip of alcohol. Was that positive? No? Okay, then I don't have a single positive thing to say about this movie. Alright, the acting was fine, the wardrobe looked good. I don't know, I'm totally lost on this one, and I mean final season of Lost. Let me review Glory, I liked that one. But as for Gods and Generals, I might give it another go the next time I have another rampant bout of insomnia. The end.